How do you talk to teens about healthy sexual relationships? Talking to teens about healthy sexual relationships is crucial for their emotional, physical, and social well-being. Here are some tips to guide these conversations in a supportive and age-appropriate way. 1. Create a safe environment. Be approachable. Let them know they can talk to you without fear of judgment or punishment. Pick the right moment. Choose a relaxed setting where they feel comfortable, such as during a car ride or a casual walk. 2. Start early and build gradually. Don't wait until they're in a relationship or experiencing issues. Start early by discussing topics like respect, consent, and boundaries. As they mature, transition into more detailed conversations about romantic relationships and intimacy. 3. Focus on healthy relationship traits. Teach them what a healthy relationship looks like, emphasizing mutual respect, honest communication, emotional support, trust and boundaries. Discuss the importance of equality in relationships, ensuring both partners feel valued and heard. 4. Discuss consent and boundaries. Explain consent as an enthusiastic, ongoing agreement to any form of physical or emotional interaction. Teach them how to set their boundaries and respect others. Role-play scenarios to help them recognize when consent is or isn't given. 5. Talk about the emotional side. Address the emotional aspects of relationships, like how to handle rejection, disagreements, or a breakup. Normalize feelings of nervousness or vulnerability in relationships and encourage emotional self-awareness. 6. Address sexual health. Be open and factual about topics like contraception, sexually transmitted infections, STIs, and safe sex practices. Encourage them to seek information from trustworthy sources and, if needed, healthcare professionals. 7. Debunk myths and media messages. Discuss how media and social platforms often misrepresent relationships, romanticizing toxic behaviors or setting unrealistic expectations. Teach them to critically evaluate what they see and how it might influence their own ideas. 8. Highlight red flags. Help them identify unhealthy behaviors, such as controlling or manipulative actions, jealousy that limits freedom, verbal, emotional, or physical abuse. Empower them to leave situations where they feel unsafe or undervalued. 9. Encourage questions. Let them ask anything, even if it feels awkward. Answer honestly, and admit when you don't know something. Offer to find answers together. 10. Be a role model. Demonstrate healthy relationships in your own life. Teens often learn through observation. Show respect, open communication, and empathy in your interactions with others. 11. Reinforce their value. Teach them self-respect and that they deserve to be treated well in any relationship. Encourage confidence in making their own decisions about their body and emotions. By maintaining an open, judgment-free dialogue, you help teens build the foundation for healthy, respectful, and fulfilling relationships in their lives. 12. Encourage independence and critical thinking. Help teens recognize their own values and priorities in relationships. Ask reflective questions like, what qualities do you admire in a partner? How do you want to feel in a relationship? Teach them to think critically about peer pressure and societal expectations. 13. Address peer influence and social pressure. Discuss how peer pressure can affect decisions about sex and relationships. Help them navigate situations where they might feel pressured to conform, such as sharing intimate images or rushing into relationships. 14. Use scenarios to teach problem solving. Role-play situations to prepare them for real-life challenges, like saying no to something they're uncomfortable with or handling disagreements respectfully. Encourage open discussions about handling tough scenarios, such as peer gossip or online harassment. 15. Talk about digital boundaries. Teach them about maintaining healthy boundaries online. Avoid sharing private or explicit content. Recognize red flags in online communication, such as manipulation or requests for inappropriate images. Discuss the permanence of digital actions and how to protect their privacy. 16. Normalize mistakes as learning opportunities. Let them know it's okay to make mistakes in relationships. They're part of growing and learning. Reassure them that they can always come to you for guidance, even after a misstep. 17. Address gender and sexuality diversity. Acknowledge and respect different sexual orientations and gender identities. Discuss the importance of inclusion and respecting diversity in relationships. Let them know they're supported, no matter how they identify or whom they love. 18. Help them develop emotional intelligence. Teach teens to recognize and regulate their emotions. Discuss how to manage jealousy, disappointment, or anger constructively in a relationship. 19. Introduce resources. Provide access to books, websites, or workshops about healthy relationships and sexual health. Encourage them to talk to trusted adults, counselors, or healthcare professionals if they have questions. 20. Encourage group discussions. Host family or group conversations where multiple teens can discuss their thoughts in a safe space. Hearing different perspectives can help normalize their experiences and open new avenues for learning. 21. Reinforce the value of self-care. Emphasize the importance of prioritizing their own emotional and mental health in relationships. Teach them to recognize when they need to step back from a relationship that feels overwhelming or unhealthy. 22. Keep the conversation going. Avoid making it a one-time discussion. Use teachable moments from everyday life, such as TV shows, news stories, or real-life examples. Check in regularly to see how they're feeling about their relationships. 23. Empower them to be an ally. Teach teens to support their friends who may be in unhealthy or abusive relationships. Discuss how to seek help for themselves or others if needed. By addressing these aspects, you can equip teens with the knowledge and confidence to navigate relationships in a way that prioritizes their health, safety, and happiness. 24. Emphasize the concept of mutual respect. Explain that respect means listening to each other's feelings, opinions, and boundaries. Highlight that respect is earned through consistent actions, not just words. 25. Discuss long-term versus short-term goals. Help teens reflect on what they want in a relationship, not just in the moment but in the long term. Ask questions like, does this relationship help you grow as a person? Or, does this person make you feel supported and appreciated? 26. Talk about power dynamics. Discuss how unequal power, due to age, experience, or status, can lead to unhealthy relationships. Teach them to recognize when someone might be exerting unfair control or influence over them. 27. Explain emotional manipulation. Help teens recognize signs of manipulation, such as guilt tripping, excessive jealousy, or isolation from friends and family. Role-play how to respond to these behaviors and establish boundaries. 28. Introduce the idea of love languages. Talk about how people express and receive love in different ways, e.g., words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service. Encourage them to understand their own preferences and those of their partner to foster better communication. 29. Reiterate that it's okay to be single. Help teens understand that their worth is not tied to being in a relationship. Celebrate independence and the importance of knowing oneself before committing to a partnership. 30. Explore cultural and religious values. Discuss how cultural or religious beliefs might influence their expectations and decisions about relationships. Encourage them to find a balance between external values and their personal beliefs. 31. Share stories and personal experiences. Use relatable anecdotes from your life or fictional examples to illustrate points about healthy and unhealthy relationships. This makes the conversation feel more real and engaging. 32. Teach assertive communication skills. Show them how to express their needs and feelings clearly without being aggressive or passive. For example, phrases like, I feel uncomfortable when, or, I need time to think about this. 33. Discuss financial boundaries. Explain that relationships shouldn't involve financial control or dependency at their age. Teach them about fair sharing of expenses or how to handle money-related disagreements. 34. Address situations of conflict. Discuss how to manage disagreements or arguments constructively. Teach them to listen actively, avoid blaming, and find compromises when appropriate. 35. Focus on non-sexual intimacy. Highlight the value of emotional connection, trust, and shared experiences beyond physical intimacy. This helps teens see relationships as more than just a physical bond. 36. Use humor and lightness. Approach sensitive topics with a touch of humor when appropriate. It can ease awkwardness and make the conversation more engaging. For example, just so you know, TikTok isn't a dating manual. 37. Talk about relationship growth. Explain that relationships evolve and that it's normal for feelings to change over time. Discuss how to adapt or gracefully end a relationship if it's no longer fulfilling. 38. Empower them to say no. Reinforce that it's okay to say no to anything that feels uncomfortable, whether it's physical intimacy, emotional pressure, or time commitments. Share examples of polite but firm ways to decline, such as, "I'm not ready for this yet." 39. Support their decisions. If they choose to wait to date, engage in physical intimacy, or commit to a relationship, affirm their decision without judgment. This builds their confidence in listening to their own instincts. 40. Highlight the importance of mental health in relationships. Talk about how stress, anxiety, or unresolved personal issues can impact relationships. Encourage them to prioritize their mental health and seek help if needed. 41. Discuss how to apologize and forgive. Teach the importance of taking responsibility for mistakes and offering genuine apologies. Similarly, help them understand when and how to forgive, provided the other person is making positive changes. 42. Stay updated on trends. Keep yourself informed about trends in dating, social media, or language teens use, e.g., ghosting, breadcrumbing. This helps you stay relevant and engaged in the conversation. 43. Encourage small acts of kindness. Teach them to show care in simple ways, like checking in on their partner's day or being supportive during tough times. Small, thoughtful actions build stronger bonds over time. 44. Offer to be a backup plan. Let them know you're always available as a safe contact if they need help during a difficult situation or date. For example, create a code word they can use to signal they need a quick escape. 45. End with empowerment. Remind teens that they are in control of their choices. Affirm their ability to build relationships that align with their values and make them feel respected and loved. Keeping these tips in mind can help teens feel prepared to navigate the complexities of relationships while building a strong foundation of respect, trust, and self-worth. 46. Teach about self-love and self-worth. Encourage teens to develop a strong sense of self-worth before entering relationships. Remind them that they should never feel they need a partner to complete them. 47. Define what healthy conflict looks like. Explain that disagreements are natural but should be handled respectfully. Teach phrases like, "I feel," instead of, "you always," to avoid blame. 48. Encourage journaling or reflection. Suggest that they keep a journal to reflect on their feelings, relationships, and decisions. Writing can help them better understand their emotions and identify patterns. 49. Discuss how to support a partner. Teach them how to be supportive in a relationship without losing their own identity. Stress the importance of being a good listener and showing empathy. 50. Address love bombing and fast-paced relationships. Explain the concept of love bombing, overwhelming attention and affection early on as a form of manipulation. Warn them about relationships that escalate too quickly, which can be a red flag. 51. Talk about ending relationships. Normalize breakups as a part of life and teach them how to end relationships kindly and respectfully. Emphasize that leaving an unhealthy relationship is a sign of strength, not failure. 52. Provide tools for managing rejection. Discuss how to handle rejection without taking it personally or retaliating. Teach that no is a complete sentence and doesn't need justification. 53. Recognize cultural norms and their impact. Discuss how cultural norms about gender roles, dating, and relationships can shape their views. Encourage them to question and think critically about those norms. 54. Explain the role of friendship in romantic relationships. Highlight the importance of a strong friendship foundation in any romantic relationship. Discuss qualities like loyalty, shared values, and emotional support. 55. Encourage healthy coping mechanisms. Teach them how to manage feelings of loneliness, sadness, or stress without relying solely on a partner. Suggest activities like exercise, hobbies, or talking to friends for support. 56. Discuss age-appropriate boundaries. Help them understand age-appropriate Behavior in relationships, especially if there is an age gap. Explain why relationships with large power or maturity imbalances can be problematic. 57. Promote communication over assumptions. Stress the importance of asking questions and clarifying intentions rather than assuming what their partner wants or feels. Teach them to check in regularly with their partner to ensure they're on the same page. 58. Validate their emotions. Acknowledge that teenage relationships can feel intense and meaningful, even if they don't last forever. Avoid dismissing their feelings as just a phase. 59. Encourage them to know their deal breakers. Help teens identify behaviors or traits they absolutely won't accept in a relationship, like dishonesty or disrespect. Explain that setting non-negotiables is a form of self-respect. 60. Discuss the concept of shared responsibility. Teach them that both partners are responsible for the health of the relationship. Highlight that mutual effort is key to maintaining a strong bond. 61. Talk about sexual decision-making. Encourage them to think about why they may or may not choose to engage in sexual activity. Emphasize that they should never feel pressured and should always make informed, intentional choices. 62. Normalize asking for help. Reassure teens that seeking guidance from trusted adults, counselors, or friends is a sign of maturity. Provide resources, such as hotlines or online platforms, where they can find support. 63. Emphasize long-term happiness. Explain that a good relationship adds to their happiness and doesn't diminish it. If they feel consistently unhappy, it may be time to reevaluate the relationship. 64. Teach conflict resolution without technology. Encourage them to resolve disagreements face-to-face rather than over text, where tone and intent can be misunderstood. Discuss how social media can escalate misunderstandings in relationships. 65. Reinforce the concept of equality. Ensure they understand that both partners in a relationship have equal rights to their opinions, needs, and desires. Discuss the dangers of one partner dominating decisions. 66. Talk about the importance of saying, "I'm sorry." Teach them how to give a meaningful apology by acknowledging the hurt caused and taking steps to make amends. Explain that being able to apologize is a sign of emotional maturity. 67. Discuss future planning. For older teens, discuss how their long-term goals, e.g., college, career, align with their relationship. Stress that relationships should complement their ambitions, not hold them back. 68. Encourage patience. Remind them that there's no rush to find the one. Help them focus on personal growth and enjoying life as they figure out what they want in a partner. 69. Offer affirmations. Regularly remind them that they are capable of making good decisions and building healthy relationships. Let them know they're loved and supported, regardless of their choices. 70. Keep the dialogue open and ongoing. Let them know you're available for any future questions or concerns. Revisit topics as they grow and enter different stages of their social and romantic lives. By maintaining a compassionate and ongoing dialogue, you equip teens with the tools to navigate relationships with confidence, self-respect, and a clear understanding of what healthy partnerships look like. 71. Encourage a growth mindset in relationships. Teach teens that relationships take effort and evolve over time. Help them see mistakes or conflicts as opportunities to learn and grow, rather than as failures. 72. Address stereotypes about love. Challenge common myths, like, true love fixes everything, or, soulmates should complete you. Emphasize that healthy love requires effort, communication, and respect. 73. Reinforce emotional safety. Explain that emotional safety means feeling comfortable being yourself without fear of judgment or criticism. Discuss how to build and recognize emotional safety within a relationship. 74. Discuss the importance of timing. Encourage teens to think about whether they're emotionally and mentally ready for a relationship or sexual activity. Emphasize that it's okay to wait and that timing is personal. 75. Help them identify their needs. Ask reflective questions, such as, what do you want from a relationship? How do you want to feel when you're with your partner? This helps them prioritize what matters most to them. 76. Clarify myths about sex. Address common misconceptions, such as, everyone is doing it, or, sex is the ultimate Expression of love. Reassure them that intimacy takes many forms, and there's no pressure to conform to societal norms. 77. Discuss media and pornography. Have open, judgment-free conversations about how media and pornography often present unrealistic depictions of relationships and sex. Teach them to approach such content critically and not use it as a guide for their relationships. 78. Explain that boundaries can change. Teach them that boundaries aren't fixed, they can evolve as comfort levels change. Encourage ongoing communication about changing needs or limits. 79. Encourage a strong friend network. Remind teens that friendships are just as important as romantic relationships. A solid friend group provides perspective, support, and emotional balance. 80. Teach them how to handle pressure. Role-play scenarios where they might feel pressured to do something they're uncomfortable with. Give them tools to say no confidently, such as, "I'm not ready for that right now." 81. Highlight the role of empathy. Teach teens to put themselves in their partner's shoes to better understand their feelings and needs. Explain how empathy strengthens relationships and resolves conflicts. 82. Encourage positive affirmations. Help teens practice self-talk that boosts their confidence and helps them set high standards for relationships. For example, "I deserve to be treated with kindness and respect." 83. Discuss the difference between love and infatuation. Help teens understand the difference between deep, lasting love and the excitement of a new crush. Talk about how infatuation can sometimes cloud judgment. 84. Explain trauma and healing. Acknowledge that some teens may come from difficult or abusive family or relationship backgrounds. Encourage them to seek support from a counselor or trusted adult if needed and remind them that they deserve healthy, respectful relationships. 85. Reinforce individuality in relationships. Remind teens that maintaining their own interests, friendships, and goals is essential in a relationship. Explain that codependency can lead to unhealthy dynamics. 86. Teach teens to spot subtle control. Talk about less obvious signs of control, like constantly needing to check in, monitoring social media activity, insisting on knowing every detail about their day. 87. Address the impact of alcohol and drugs. Discuss how substances can impair judgment and lead to risky decisions in relationships or sexual activity. Encourage them to set boundaries about substance use in social or romantic settings. 88. Help them navigate LGBTQ+ relationships. For LGBTQ+ teens, discuss specific challenges they might face, such as societal stigma or finding affirming communities. Offer resources and let them know they're supported, regardless of their orientation or gender identity. 89. Talk about what makes relationships fun. Remind teens that healthy relationships are not just about hard work, they should also be enjoyable and uplifting. Encourage activities that bring laughter, shared interests, and joy. 90. Share the importance of personal accountability. Teach them to take responsibility for their own actions, words, and decisions in relationships. Discuss how to recognize when they're in the wrong and how to make amends. 91. Encourage them to seek balance. Explain the importance of balancing time with a partner, friends, family, and personal interests. Highlight how over-investing in one relationship can lead to neglecting other important areas of life. 92. Prepare them for gray areas. Acknowledge that not all situations are clear-cut and that relationships can be complicated. Teach them to trust their instincts and seek advice if something feels off. 93. Talk about healing after heartbreak. Discuss how to cope with the end of a relationship and why breakups can be healthy. If the relationship wasn't working, emphasize self-care and the importance of learning from each experience. 94. Discuss role models. Ask teens to identify role models who embody healthy relationship behaviors, whether in real life or media. Talk about what they admire in those people and how they can emulate those qualities. 95. Use open-ended questions. Keep the conversation dynamic by asking, "What does love mean to you? What do you think makes a relationship strong?" This helps them think critically and articulate their thoughts. 96. Emphasize gratitude. Teach teens to appreciate the positive aspects of their relationships and express gratitude to their partners. Small gestures of gratitude can strengthen bonds. 97. Introduce the concept of forgiveness without reconciliation. Teach them that forgiveness is about letting go of resentment and doesn't always mean staying in a relationship. 98. Offer a non-judgmental attitude. Reassure teens that they can share anything with you, even if they fear judgment or consequences. Let them know that your priority is their safety and happiness. 99. Discuss sexual assault and harassment. Teach teens to recognize signs of sexual harassment or assault and how to report or respond to such situations. Discuss the importance of standing up for themselves and others. 100. Reassure them they're never alone. Let teens know that navigating relationships is a journey and that you, or other trusted adults, are there to support them every step of the way. By providing comprehensive, compassionate guidance, you empower teens to navigate relationships with confidence, self-awareness, and the ability to make decisions that align with their values and well-being.